Welcome to the SHS podcast, where we provide valuable information to business owners and entrepreneurs. Today, we're joined by Matt Dillingham, who's the COO of A1 Solutions Group. Good morning, Matt. How are you?
Warren, Steve, I'm good. How you doing?
Excellent. So let's get right into this. So talk to us. What is credit score and why is it important?
So it used to be with credit that it was a record of basically how you paying back your creditors. Okay, for example, like John Smith comes up to you, wants a loan, right? And you look at his record and say, okay, Steven Sue's on here. He's paid him on time. He's good to go. He's may have had some late payments on another client, so forth and so forth. And that's what it was. Nowadays, it has changed dramatically and gotten out of hand to the point where having bad credit can limit you from getting a job. You could lose your job as far as that goes. People know that you can't get a house on certain things, but it's gotten to a point right now where it's becoming a point where that's who you are. They will judge you based off of that, regardless of how much money you have in the bank. Okay. And nowadays, you can have a lot of stuff on your credit, your rent, utilities, even your Netflix payment history, other than credit cards and mortgages. But now it's a sign of your character. And quick story, my girlfriend who works for a financial institution had a guy who was, I believe he was refinancing, because right now everyone's trying to refinance with these crazy low rates, right? I kid you not. He had $1.5 million in assets. $1.5 million in assets. So you think he's good to go. Well, his credit score wasn't that great. I think it may have been like the low 600s. And because that was the case, declined. Even if you have the assets and your credit's not great, they'll look at that and look at you and go, okay, so you got all those assets, but you're not paying them back. That's a problem. So that's where it is now.
Well, what's a good credit score and what's a bad credit score?
So it's a range of that. So it's interesting. So bad credit score, you're looking at if you're 600 below, it's bad and poor. It can kind of vary depending on the Vantage or the other FICO scoring models. Okay. An okay credit score is when you start getting above 600 into like 620, 640. All right. And a good credit score is what they consider like a 660 or higher. And fair is more of like 650. And it changes because it's really all based on what's on your report, because you can get your credit pulled by different companies and your score will be different across the board, but the information they're pulling from will be the same.
And so how does somebody check their credit score and then understand whether it's good or not?
There's a myriad of ways. So one way is that you can go to annualcreditreport.com, and because of the pandemic right now, instead of getting your report for free once a year, they're allowing you to do it once a week. That's one, but that one does not give you a score. If you want a score to make you pay for it, I say don't do that. Save your money. You can use different credit monitoring services. You can start with Credit Karma, which I don't recommend because Credit Karma only covers 2 out of 3 bureaus, Equifax and TransUnion. Or you can use what we use in our group, in our company, Identity IQ. You can check it for $1, give you all 3 bureaus. And then the credit monitoring they try to break it down, keep it simple, and tell you, hey, here's your personal information in all 3 bureaus. Here's your accounts. It'll list like your payment history, hard inquiries, and public record, things of that nature, to really break it down to have you look at it.
So, that being said, you mentioned a couple of the bureaus. So would belonging to like an Equifax and then locking down your credit or checking your credit or making sure you have that protection, is that something that's valuable?
Yes, it is valuable because the credit bureaus have little to no motivation to let you know what's happening with the credit. They will not tell you. This is why having credit monitoring at the very minimum is so important, because a lot of our clients aren't fully aware of what's on their credit or understand how to read the report until they apply for something, and then they find out, oh, hey, here's your score based on whatever bureau that they're pulling from, because not everyone reports to every bureau, not everyone reports to all or pulls from every bureau as well. Okay, and I've talked to clients who have like a collection account on there, and they're like, why do I have a collection account from Verizon when I still have an active account with them? That makes no sense. So you need to know this, because they're not going to tell you. I'm going to just throw stuff on there all day long, and you'll be like, and you won't be aware of it.
So in the end, it's good to check your credit, even at least once a month, check your payment history, what's going on, make sure you have no dings or anything
Yep.
like that.
It's you got to check. I would say at the very most twice a month, because beyond that's overkill. Because the credit bureaus only update once a month, so you want to make check what's on there. Also, a lot of people don't realize you also need to check if you have credit cards that are open, how the balances are being reported on the credit bureaus. Because what the credit companies will do, they'll report a lower balance, which affects your utilization, which then can drop your score. And the reason why they do that is to make you not look so great to competitors. So you need to know that because you're thinking you may have 10 grand left on your credit card limit, but they're saying you got five, and that can significantly drop your score, a number of points, and you won't be aware of it.
So before I ask you, how somebody who has fair or poor credit score
Mhm.
fixes that, right? The question is, over the last, 9 months or 10 months, we know that, during this pandemic, that companies have allowed you to defer your payments or, not pay for a certain period of time. I
Right.
mean, they said that that doesn't affect your credit score, but does it affect your credit and does it affect your credit score?
It doesn't. If you have your loans and utilities and stuff deferred, you're fine. The thing is, I have come across not too many of our clients, new ones, but there have been some companies that have said, "Hey, we're going to defer payments. Don't worry about it. We'll suppress it." And then some companies haven't done that. That's where checking credit score comes into play because they make mistakes or maybe they don't care. You need to know that's happened. And I've told our clients, if that's the case, talk to them right now and they'll correct it. If not, we can always, dispute it for you. So,
So tell me, how does your process work with A1? What do you do specifically, and how do you work with clients to help them improve their credit score, as well as how long does it take?
okay. So what we'll do is a credit analysis because credit is like your DNA is unique to you. I can't just say, hey, do this for everybody and expect the same results. It's not the way it works because I'll look at someone's credit score, which we use Identity IQ for. It's a cost a dollar, doesn't create any hard inquiries. Get the username, password, last word, social, log in, and I'll see what's happening all through bureaus. And from there, I can tell you, okay, you have X amount of charge off or collections or closed accounts or whatever is on there for all three, and also advise them on what they can do if they need to rebuild credit or add new credit. Because some people only have negative items on there that's giving them a score. If you remove those, your score will go to zero. Some people have negative items and then closed accounts that are in good standing and they have no active credit. So I advise them on, hey, you need to get some credit cards. Go here. They don't require credit check. You can use Self Lender, Experian Boost, where the case may be, to let them know here's what you need to do right now to start this process because it takes time to build it as well. And so from there, what we do for the items that need to be disputed, because we dispute items in bulk. So we're going up to 20 negative items per bureau per round that we send out, and challenging the credit bureaus on the validity of the debt and keep it short and simple. Like, show me the receipts. How do you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is me? Because what they'll do is, like I said earlier, they'll throw stuff on there and not question you. But the thing that's backwards is that when you want to challenge something on your credit report, then they want to know your ID, or your proof of address, and all this other stuff. Which, like, wait a minute, you had no problem putting it on there before, but now you want to know it's me. It doesn't make sense. That's really short skin of it all. And then also we can provide trade lines to help boost their score up. This way they can get the house, the home loan, or whatever they're looking to do in that period of time.
So it sounds like basically one of the ways that you're able to help, or two of the ways really, is one is helping clean up negative items that are on their credit report that they may not be aware of. And then the second part is also being able to provide credit or limit for that to be able to help them build their credit.
Yeah, it's that, but it really comes down to educating the client because credit is one of the least understood items in our country, yet it follows you for your entire life. And it's really the biggest thing I can tell you this is when I've sat down with someone, either Zoom, phone call, or in person, and told them, this is your credit report. This is what this means. This is why you don't have to pay this X, Y, and Z. And therefore, they're like, wow, I had no idea. No one's ever taught me this, told me this. And they're like, I want to do business with you, and then educate them on the process along the way, what happens. So.
Well, I mean, it sounds like at the end of the day, people need to realize how important it is to improve their credit score and to stay above, whatever that magic number is, right? So we call it
Right.
magic number, as you mentioned, what, 700?
Yeah, 700. Once you get above 700, you're pretty much good to go. That's like the clean space, but also you want to maintain it. And we do have a product that allows you to protect and maintain your credit score because unless you're going to work on some deeper issues, a lot of people will get their credit fixed, get the house, and then go right back to where they were. And it's like you gotta work to maintain it too. So,
what's the highest score? Last question. What's the highest score you ever saw?
Wasn't a client of ours, but someone I was talking with about doing business with. They were an 800 something, almost an 850. They were up there. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, Matt, again, thank you very, very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You guys can find you. It's Matt from A1 Solutions Group. I think if they want to reach you, they can call 877-250-7170. It's your office. Hold you from there. Well, thanks for joining us and helping our viewers get educated on credit score and how to improve it.
All right. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
You got it.